Old VHS tapes used to be a way for people to store and watch movies. If you are from my generation, you may barely remember them. With time though, this method got replaced with easier formats like CDs, DVDs, or even floppy disks. It was just a much easier way to mass produce movies, and of course, it was way cheaper to make. Still, there is a certain mystique to this unique method of photography, and its aesthetic deeply connects to today's analog horror. Through time, there have been a lot of records of people buying lost VHS tapes. Whether it be at a second-hand shop, accidentally by buying old televisions and them still being inside, analog equipment, or other places like old movie stores, you sometimes wouldn't really know what you're getting yourself into. I found an interesting post on the r/lostmedia subreddit, and it's about such a lost VHS tape. The user talks about him picking up a few tapes from a local recycle center. After coming home and playing the tape, he was a little confused. The tape shows what looks like two figures balancing on some type of rotating machine. There are multiple close cuts on the figures, and they appear to be a man across from a strange humanoid figure. The title card shows Control and Obsession number 2. Being a little bit confused and perhaps even scared, he shows it to a few friends, and one suggests he should digitize it. And the user agreed. The following footage is the found VHS tape. The footage is something over 2 hours long, yet we only get to see around 30 seconds of it. And now you might ask yourself, what is even supposed to be represented with this? Well, many people on Reddit also ask themselves the same questions. Deep searching the internet, Reddit users found out the origin of the video, and this was not a school project. Actually, it's a piece of art by an artist called Show Del Pra. I hope I pronounced that right. The video is supposed to represent the cultural differences in society, or to be rather exact, the Western industrial-aged colonists and the Western exotic primitives. To the surprise of the user who originally found the tape, this was not some piece of cursed media. But I hope I could illustrate to you what horrors could be lurking behind those tapes. Today I want to introduce an analog horror game that fits this concept pretty well. Let me introduce you to Channel 64. In Channel 64, you play as a homeless man looking for something to eat. Being really desperate, taking any job we can, we get one at an old movie store. You're instantly hit with the buzz of light, and it probably will remind you of the Backroom series. The aesthetic of the building seems rather forgotten. The player is given a view like he himself is watching an old TV or even VHS tape. This only empowers the unsettling nature of the game and gives it a unique approach. While roaming around, you get to know your surroundings. There is a chair, what seems to be an old PC, a phone, and some sort of vent, a toilet in the back room, and a storage room which we will need later. It is at this point that the phone starts ringing. Our boss informs us about the task we will have to do. It's actually pretty simple. Digitize old VHS tapes, one by one. The tapes drop from a small elevator built into the wall. You have to take them, put them in the TV, and then turn the knob on the bottom of the TV to digitize them. Alright, let's get to work. Turning the knob, you realize there is an image and sound being produced. The first tape seems a little bit goofy and displays a dog doing, well, things a dog usually would not do. Uncanny Valley would fit this one pretty well, but it rather seems like an oral commercial from some Asian language. Though at the end, there seems to be a number shown. Not thinking about it much, you make your way into the storage and put the VHS away to get the next one. This one also seems to display some sort of commercial for food mashing. Still a little goofy, but it gives you some sort of safety, and maybe this is a chance for you to finally get off the streets. Number 3 kicks the eeriness of the game back in. It seems to show a church from the inside. The footage could also be from a security camera. But besides the church bell, there is nothing much to see here except another number at the end. Putting the VHS away, you realize there is something written on the sides of them. Maybe there is a certain order you should put them in? I guess only time will tell. Let's rather get over the next tapes. Number 4 is probably showing the church we've seen before, but from a much darker angle, and creeped out music in the background. Though it is on number 5, we're hit with something that really gets us invested into the story. The footage starts with blood on the floor. There seems to be a person walking down the hallway covered in bloodstains, all until he meets someone at the end of the hallway. Then, the videotape then cuts to black, and shortly after, we see something else. I'm sure many, besides our protagonist, would not know what to do in this situation. Finishing your business, you turn around and... what was? Probably the tapes climbing on your nerves. You just take the next one and sit down. This one seems to show a person looking or stalking someone out of a window, until really fast it turns black. Number 7 also seems kind of out of place. It's a robotic voice that tells us something about a subject that is being observed. It doesn't really seem to make much sense, but it is a little bit longer than the others, all until something whispers in your ear. A pale white man stares into your soul. Not a single word is said, but you can hear the door behind you being opened up. Fast steps all the way towards you, and you stand up to check. But there seems no one around you. This job is only getting weirder. The next tape shows us a rocking chair that starts moving on its own by the end of the video. There is also a figure lurking on the right side, but it's just not possible to quite identify what is behind that silhouette. Number 10 is the shortest one and just shows an abandoned building. Judging by the doors, it could also resemble the place we're at, even though it is not confirmed. In some parts you can see people walking around the building. It gives some hard vlog vibes like YouTubers will do today, but it rather seems like the recorder of the video tries to stay hidden in some occasions. Nothing special seems to be happening on the next tape, all until I am here text shows up. Number 12 also shows a cellar which may be connected to the abandoned building we've seen before. Bringing the tape to the storage, you realize the back sides of the tape do show something. Putting them together in a right order, it resembles some kind of maze. You don't really know what this points to, but maybe there's something we need to find out. The last tape drops from the vent, and this one looks a little bit different. For the first time, you can't really identify the number on the VHS tape, and it's all covered in blood. All these tapes do have something in common after all. Each one has a number hidden somewhere in the tape. There's a spot or location indicating that something is there, and it seems like someone is trying to send you a message in some sort of way. Whether the tapes themselves are connected or not, it doesn't really play a role at the first place. The maze also doesn't let itself apply on any section of the game yet, so you really find yourself confused. Out of curiosity, you put the last tape into the TV. You hear the sound of footsteps and run for your life. A timer appears in the right-left corner and you just press yourself through the vents in the storage room. Running through the seemingly endless vent system, you realize the meaning of the maze. Putting the tapes in the right order shows you the quickest way to exit the building. Confuse them up and you will find yourself lost. Finally, you find the exit to the building and the game ends. Our boss, by the name of Brian Morris, has been arrested for multiple murders in the location. But there is still things left to answer and that don't make sense. Channel 64 takes a rather unique medium to display its eeriness and horrors inside. For the first few minutes of the game, the player doesn't really know what to expect when playing this game. I think the game itself did a really good job of bringing over a topic many of us probably will like. A crime committed with the ghost or spirit of the deceased trying to give you a hint on what happened. This all escalates though when an evil entity, mentioned in the tape number 7, seems to take over control. Don't take me wrong, the game is in no way perfect, yet it's made with love and a unique concept. The atmosphere is always tense, or rather climbing up through the progress in the game. Sadly, I think there were way too less encounters with the entity itself in the game. There was a few jump scares here and there, but it's rather quick ones. This doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, don't take me wrong, but it's a different experience when you know there is something hidden 100% of the time. Just like in the Home Alone series we covered up in the latest video. There's also a second ending to the game. Let's say you don't manage to go out of the vents on time. You will be found by the entity and end up as another victim. A screen will then pop up that displays the chat. From playing the game, we can tell that one person is our boss, Brian. The other person is unknown but involved into the stuff going on here. We found out that it isn't Brian who killed all the people, it's a creature living in the vents. Brian being concerned no one will believe him if he goes out to the public, he uses his money to cover things up, so he wouldn't get caught and go to jail. We also find out that the entity always gets what it wants, referring to employees like you, yet the whole thing with the cleaning is getting a little bit messy. Channel 64 is a game I really enjoyed playing and I would recommend to you. Right now it's free on itch.io, so you can try it out. The link is in the description as always. Thank you for watching the video and tell me what is the weirdest experience you have ever met by watching a Lost video. Till next time, bye.